Hmm. Hi everybody. Welcome to Dubtown, Season 5, Episode 1. My name is Slugbait, and I am here to take you on a journey of one slug's mining corporation in Minecraft. Now, as you may have seen in the intro, I was busy doing some harvesting. Essentially, I want to have a whole bunch of carrots on hand. I don't need that just now. Oh my gosh. Okay, don't need that either. Right. Anyways, today I'm going to be working on a trading hall. And what happened there? Oh, it's the new the new way that the walls kind of join. That's awkward. I'm gonna have to fix that the whole way down. Anyways, with some hard work and some collection methods, I was able to, in this vicinity of the zombie spawner here, comes up, I was able to trap a couple of zombie villagers, and those two zombie, whoa, using a method like this, by the way. Basically, they think they can walk across the trapdoors. Oh, there's one there. Oh no, he's gonna die to the skeleton. Ooh, he died. Hashtag sad face. Anyway, you get the idea. So because your face is over here and zombies like to eat your face, they will of course try to walk towards you, and they don't realize that the trapdoors are open. It's a game mechanic. Very handy if you want to trap a bunch of zombies, cats, zombie villagers, bats. I just work on bats actually, never mind. Anyways, point being is that I lured two zombie villagers into that trap, and then I brought them into here, which, although it doesn't look like it now, is a villager breeding area. So what I like to do is I like to do villager breeding the old-fashioned way, where you chuck a bunch of carrots at them. And what I would do is I would have these water streams coming from the corners after I bred them. So the water streams would cause... Actually, I guess I can close this one off now because I don't really need it anymore. Boop. Anyways, the point being, I would breed them, and then I would turn on the water sources, and the water sources would force all of the little baby villagers to go towards their center, where they would drop down into another chamber. So this was very handy and easy to use, but I found that while it was operating, iron golems would spawn like crazy. What I also did is once all the villagers were down here, I introduced a zombie to them, and the zombie of course ate all the villagers' faces, like zombies tend to do. And then I captured each of those in a minecart. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them just sort of hanging out down here. Reason I do this is because when you cure a zombie villager, they are very nice to you in terms of their trade amounts. So anyways, as I was also saying, so iron golems were spawning in here from time to time. It wasn't super crazy or anything like that, but I thought to myself, you know, it would actually be kind of fun if we were able to harvest some of that iron. Give me a second here. I need to make sure that I replace those. I was going to have a switch off for that hole, but I ended up just moving the villagers outside of the area for now. Anyways, when an iron golem spawns, hopefully we'll see one spawn in the wild here. Yep, there we go. The water streams will move it to the center, and the lava, which I have there, is high enough to hit the golem and high enough to miss the villagers that I had previously had there, but I ended up just taking them out. You can also see around here that I had to do a little bit of spawn proofing. And this basically took me all weekend, not because it was super laborious, but just because I'm a nitwit sometimes and I missed a whole bunch of spots. The moral of the story, kids, if you can take anything away from this one episode, is that don't build iron farms underground. They're a lot of work. Unless you know that it's solid everywhere around you, then it's okay. But yeah, don't do it. The way to prevent iron golems from spawning, you need to have a too high area, because they can't spawn in that. Or you need to place redstone components on the ground, such as this, or a carpet, or something that prevents spawning. Oops. Actually, maybe I'll just not worry about that because it's only too high. But anyways, they were spawning out here somehow, and I wasn't sure how. So I think that I've corrected and fixed every possible place where they could spawn on. For instance, on top of the bookshelves here in the enchanting area, on top of the crafting table. I don't think you can't spawn on that. That's not a full-size block. Or on a bed. So, anyways, I think I've got most of them covered. They don't seem to be spawning outside of this area or outside there. So that's another thing that was happening too, is they would ladder. They were spawning outside here, so I had to do a little bit of conditioning of this area to make it so that they didn't get constantly stuck in the walls. For some reason, iron golems, there must be a bug. I feel like it must be, but nobody's fixed it yet. They seem to spawn partially inside of a wall, so it's a really wide creature, but it'll spawn on this block. So if there's an adjacent block, it'll get sort of stuck in it. Sometimes they'll suffocate, sometimes they won't. But either way, I found that the solution that seems to be working for this is to drop the floor down, spawn-proof it, and keep the water stream going. Okay, obviously that didn't work. There. Okay, work in progress. Anyways, the ones that spawn out here, I've basically spawn-proofed up there. I've made all of these less than 3 high. Further up there, it doesn't really matter because the range that a golem will spawn is vertically above or below the villagers. I believe it's 6 to 8 blocks or something like that. So those are safe. And basically the iron golems, or most of them, will end up flowing down in the water here, and they will be killed by that lava blade up there. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Not super productive, but it's a slow, steady trickle of iron for me here in my mountain base. So, makes me happy. Okay, now, so basically in order to feed the villagers, we just butt our heads up against one of these fence posts here and chuck some carrots. They swarm around the carrots, which is great. Someone pick them up. Try to distribute them around a little bit. So I believe that each villager has to have a critical mass of 12 carrots, I want to say, 14, 13, 12, somewhere in there. And, I mean, we don't want one villager to get all the carrots. Plus, because of the way that item clumping occurs on this server, if you drop all of your carrots, they'll all mash into one big lump of carrots, and that one big lump of carrots will be picked up by one villager. So it lowers the amount of breeding that they're able to do, because you need, obviously, multiple villagers to be trading back and forth their food. Anyways, once these people have all finished breeding, what I might decide to do is to start let some of them back into this chamber as babies, and they'll filter down to the chamber below. So basically I have an infinite supply of villagers as long as I keep some up here. The other ones I'm going to take off, and I'm going to put into a villager trading hall. is starting to look cramped. Let's just, oops. There we go. Oh, sorry. I have thorns on my armor, which means that if they hit me like that, then they're likely to die. Okay. Oh. Okay. It's a little less cramped. Anyways, this is my key zombie that I've kept just for the purposes of re-zombifying more villagers. Don't need to do it at the moment, though I've got quite a few. So next step then is to go and create a trading hall. So what I'm thinking of doing is having a modules or pods of a trading hall, and what I want to be able to do is to have the resource required to trade for said villagers right on hand. So I would probably do some sort of auto dispensing thing that'll dispense the right number of items to me to be able to trade with the villagers in the pod I'm in as many times as I need to be able to get as many emeralds as I can. And I've found over multiple trials of different kinds of villagers that I think the most consistently good one that I like to use is toolsmiths, or anybody who will trade iron. When you cure the zombie villagers, they will trade 1 emerald for 1 iron ingot, and if we have any kind of iron farm going on, this is just a temporary ghetto iron farm. But when I get my serious one running close by, then I will be able to have tons and tons of iron, which means if I breed, I don't know, 16 toolsmiths, that's 16 times the number of iron ingots you can trade, and you can do that twice a day with each villager before they change their price to be worse. So let's get cracking. Now, I'm going to definitely need to make sure, nope, that should be okay. I'm going to need to make sure that I install a beacon, because the beacon that I do have is not going to reach far enough for long enough to be able to do the level of scope and size that I'm going for with this. I'm definitely going to need a whole creep load of torches, which I also don't have. Okay, let's go get some resources here. Once I do have my iron farm hooked up, I'll basically have the iron collection sorted out and automatically moved to the dispensers, so that way I can just basically go into the room of toolsmiths, push a button, iron ingots will rain out of the ceiling towards me and fill me up. I'll walk around to each of them and trade once. Villager will refresh their trades, walk around again, trade with all of them, and should have a creep ton of emeralds at the end of it. That's my plan. I've done this on other servers as well. It is possible to do some good trades with other villagers, like butchers for instance. They'll buy raw meat off of you, but that means you have to have a pretty productive chicken farm, cow farm, pork farm going, or sweet berries. But I found that the butchers, after I've cured them, they seem to only want to trade for the sweet berries once before they raise the price. So if anybody happens to know why that is, or if that's normal, maybe there's something you can do to fix that, because it is a little bit, how do you say, maddening. Not too maddening, but a little bit. Don't do that. Misclick. Nice. The other thing too is when you have an actually productive iron farm, you're probably going to want to do something with the poppies. So what I tend to do is to collect, you know, a somewhat reasonable amount of poppies, and then the rest of them just turn into bone meal with a composter. I think it's the best way to go. but that's for another day. The iron farm I intend to make will probably be the same design idea showed off by either, I can't remember, Nembon or Logical Geek Boy, and I'm going to make use of a pillager which I have managed to capture outside, upstairs, this way. You may have noticed him earlier, just sort of chilling out there. The he was angry at me for a long time, kept shooting at me, which is fine because I need him to wear out the durability on his crossbow so he can be quote-unquote pacified. But it took a long time. But I found out, I read somewhere, if you sit in the boat with him, he'll fire away until his crossbow is totally depleted, but then you don't take any damage when you're in the boat. I've heard of other ways of doing it as well, where I think you stick like a fence post or something in between, and it basically is the same kind of idea. You don't get hit, he'll just fire thinking he can hit you, but misses you every time. Either way, he's up there just sort of chilling out, waiting for some attention. So what I'm going to do first here is I'm just sort of hollowing out another hallway. I'm going to have to make sure this is spawn proof as well. I may just cheap out for a little while and stick buttons on the floor. But anyways, this hallway here had to be spawn proofed as well for the same reason iron golems would spawn in here. I didn't think that was actually possible, but it seems that they could... I don't know, maybe it was over here? I don't know. Anyways, one of them did spawn within the spawning range. But just for now, let's leave those on the ground there. Let's just pepper this with buttons. The first thing I want to do is I just want to set up another beacon, because the other beacon that I had was not low enough in the world or within range. I'm fairly sure that beacons matter. They're fine above, but below I think they only go 40 blocks. Once again, I have to look that up to be totally sure. But I'm going to want to have this as low in the world as possible. The other thing is... So there we have it, a beacon, basically all the way down to pretty much bedrock. So this should reach everywhere else where it didn't previously way up here in the world. I did look it up, and a full-strength beacon only goes down about 50 blocks, and it's also a spherical shape, unless that's changed. So, yeah. Now we have our haste to Instamine. The only way to go. Right, so I'll spend a little bit of time organizing this off camera, and I think that pretty much does it for the episode today. So thank you very much for watching. It's been a joy and a pleasure to put this together. Oh crud. Should have brought torches. So once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Please leave a comment in the comments section. I'd love to know what you thought of the episode. This is literally my very first episode ever. So please let me know if there's anything you would like to see, or perhaps if the volume levels are okay. This is a pretty swanky microphone that I've rented. I think it sounds good, but I can't really tell until I upload this to YouTube. So anyways, peace out. Have a great day and take care.